edition of Wrestling Sheet Radio. I am your host, ProWrestlingSheet.com, Editor-in-Chief Ryan Satin, here with my co-host, Jamie Iovine.
Hey, everybody.
As well as Kevin Silva.
Howdy do.
This is actually, today, more than anything, was, the whole week, but today, more than the rest, was a very, newsworthy week, in my opinion.
I mean, honestly, I really think you're going to have to find time for maybe more shows, because I think just a show about like the news in general is not enough. I think considering that we're going to have, I mean, when somebody posted that graphic of the week,
oh my God,
it's alarming.
It really is daunting when you look at it.
And that's not TV that I watch.
And that's not even including, if you're a diehard, all the random indie shows that are
and New Japan.
Yeah.
Dude,
if you got yourselves a high spot account, like you're just what are you doing?
It also doesn't factor in pay-per-view weekends when there's like a takeover and there's what's it called? Actual pay-per-view, you know. There's so many. It's crazy.
And then like when you want to go to a show as well, like you want to go to a wrestling show, like that's so much wrestling, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
I brought this up before, and I don't know if it was you or Eli who was here, and I was just talking about how wrestling is becoming, even though there's more of it, it's weird. There's more of it, but it's becoming harder and harder to access it if you aren't into it at first. And that sounds weird at first, but I'll tell because I've told you this before. Like when we went to I took my friend to a GCW show.
Sure, yeah.
And he had a great time. But, you know, when if you were to tell somebody who's never been that, oh, we're going to a show, how long is it? Like, oh, like a regular sports game is like 2.5 hours.
Right.
It's like, how long is this? Like, oh, it can't be that long. Some of them go up to 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's like it's not super accessible, especially if you want to just go, see some dope shit, and then leave. It's kind of hard.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because I saw the AEW stuff this week where they said there's just like WWE shows, there's going to be a dark match before the show and then a dark main event. And I thought to myself, why?
You don't need that right off the bat.
Right?
You don't need that.
Like, I mean, I get that you want to give people more bang for their buck in their ticket when they come to a live event and make them feel like you gave them the best show, but I don't know if two extra matches
you may as well
really does that.
I mean, WWE at this point shouldn't sell tickets. They should just sell leases and for each seat, you know, because you're there for like 5 hours. You might as well just like set up shop.
I love that dad joke that you just made.
It's for real though. I mean, like you go there, you spend 12 hours there. Some people.
Oh yeah.
Like a WrestleMania, forget about it.
You're there all day.
I mean, you think about like just even like an indie, like PWG just had Bola, and like night 3, I think was people were in the building from 5 to like 10. So that's
I was there. Yeah, we were there a long time.
Hours. That's a long.
But
time.
also,
3 nights in a row.
I also think it depends on your level of like fandom. You know, like some people want that. Like that's their favorite thing. You know,
that's why I said it was a give and
totally.
take
It's
thing.
a very much a give and take thing. No, it absolutely. I actually, you know, I saw a lot of talk of this precise thing this week because of that graphic, where some people were saying too much. Like at a certain point, it's oversaturation, and I don't know if I necessarily agree because it's kind of cool that you can kind of, in theory here, you can pick a federation or a promotion. What?
And just stick with it.
And just stick with it, yeah. Like, if you want, you can watch it. You can only watch wrestling on Wednesday nights. And you got two dope, like, fresh, young, like, hit brands of the up-and-comers or whatever. If you just like your, typical what you saw every week in WWE, you got Raw still.
Absolutely.
If you want something that's, like, more accessible to the masses, that's going to have awesome action, cool storylines, a fresh feel, you got Fox, you got SmackDown. You know, if you want, if you only want to watch on the computer, you got your MLWs, you got your Beyond Wrestling, you got your GCWs, New Japan, even though New Japan's on Access, you got Access on Saturday nights. It's like, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, when we were growing up, I mean, I think it was also partly due to just necessity I said due to.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Kevin.
That's the fancy way of saying doo-doo.
Yeah.
Doo-doo. I'm going to take a doo-doo.
Du-toi. But there were people growing up. Like, I mean, there were some people. I mean, like, I tried to catch both. But when we were growing up, some people were steadfast in I'm a WWE guy or I'm a WCW guy.
Yeah, totally.
And
a lot of people were. I actually,
Yeah.
I went back and forth, but I never was like a taper. I never like taped one and then went back and watched it. I definitely just had to switch back and forth the whole time between the two of them.
I was a taper. Yeah.
You were a taper? You were a taper?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I never.
I would switch back and forth even while watching live, though, but I'd still be taping.
But I would, you see, like, we're lucky
something
that we
that
grew
wasn't
up in
as
an internet
interesting.
age. So, like, I already had AOL at that time. So I definitely was going and reading results afterwards.
I
like,
had to
on
tape
the full show so that I could see everything I missed.
Well, I had to tape it, not able, mostly because my parents made me, because when because I didn't have a Directv feed. I mean, I don't know if there was a Directv feed back then. And whenever Raw would come on, it was a school night. And I would get so amped up from it, and I wouldn't sleep. Like, it would be over at 11, and I would be all like, what's going to happen tomorrow? And I would,
the show went off in the middle of something happening.
Because that's how they ended back then.
It was always great.
That's how, and I was like,
I got to tune in next week.
And I'd be all amped up, especially if Vince did something to Austin, and I was pissed. Like, that was,
how could he?
I remember the night, Austin, the one night where this whole rule stands out the most was the Rumble where Vince won. I was so mad. I was so pissed, and I didn't sleep that night. And I think that was actually
as
the
well as you shouldn't have.
And I think that was the genesis of the rule that I wasn't allowed to watch Raw when it happened. I had to wait till the next day.
I wish there was video of Jamie's dad just like scolding him like, I told you if you stayed up and watched Raw, you wouldn't go to bed, Jamie. Like,
it's true.
I love it.
That happened.
For those of you guys who didn't see the graphic, by the way, a thing that was kind of floating around social media this week that shows all the wrestling that's going to be on TV, basically. We got
You should post it on your Twitter account so they could look at it.
Well, I tweeted the major ones, and of course, I had everyone in my replies like, "Why didn't you mention this and that?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry,
I didn't make it."
Like I'm watching. Well, I just mentioned the ones that I was gonna watch. I also almost ran out of room, so give me a break. There's only so many characters allowed on Twitter.
Well, Jamie said to post a picture.
I
okay?
retweeted it once because everyone was giving me crap already.
Okay.
We got Raw on Monday nights. And also Raw now. Wait, no. Sorry.
17 hours.
I'm trying to think. No. Never mind. So Raw Monday nights. 17 hours. Yeah. And then on Tuesday we've got Impact, which will now be on Access TV at 8 o'clock.
Christ.
Also announced today, the WWE studio show on Fox Sports 1 will air on Tuesday nights
with Renee and Booker.
So will this be theoretically a analysis show of what happened in early last week, or is this going to be like a pre-show type thing? Because having it on Tuesday and it's about SmackDown, right?
It's about, from what I've surmised, about all of WWE.
Oh.
So maybe a little bit of both.
I'm just trying to see how the flow would go because like
I mean I don't know, but my guess would be they do a little bit of everything. Like a little cover, what happened on Raw, what happened on SmackDown, preview some things, maybe like some interviews. That's my guess. I mean, that's what I would guess.
It's just interesting that they placed it in the middle of their programming. Like SmackDown in the middle of their programming.
I mean, Wednesday night they can't do because they have it's for the same reason that they ended up not making a deal with Fox Sports 1 to bring NXT there, is because on Wednesday night there's college basketball they have like a big time deal for. So that one's like that schedule is already that day is booked for like more than half the year.
I have a question, and this was something I was wondering last night when I was watching NXT. When NXT goes the full 2 hours on USA, will the full 2 hours be available on demand afterwards?
The next day.
The next day.
The
full 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Because right now it's the 1 hour.
Yeah, just the second hour is the only one available on
yes
on
NXT
or the network.
Correct. But that's because some people can't. I believe the rationale behind that was some people can't, and this is just my guess, but that some people are watching live, or aren't watching live, or DVR or whatever, the difference in coasts. Like the difference in coasts, you would need there's gonna be different times, so they needed to have it available for those people right away, depending on where you are or whatever. Does that make sense?
We're saying that the first hour is not on.
That's
on
what I
the
mean.
network.
That's why they made the second hour, because the first hour was on TV,
okay,
and the second hour was on WWE Network. So I think they only made the WWE Network and one
but
available.
Going forward,
the whole 2 hour show.
I got to be honest, even though they are moving,
I believe that's what it said.
Even though they're doing the full 2 hours on USA, I may be in the minority here because Lord knows I haven't taken a poll, but I kind of like the whole like, okay, we got first hour. It's like, oh, okay, that was fun. But if you want to watch, like, if you had enough, you had enough.
If you had enough, you had enough.
Then you don't need to do anything else.
I hated it. I hated it.
That's why I thought I was in the minority.
Yeah, I hated it.
I kind of like it. Well, you didn't like it because you had a really bad first experience.
But you're also not watching it live.
Also,
I'm not.
So like me, I'm watching it live, and it's a pain in the ass to like, because right now I'm on the West Coast, so anyone on the West Coast who wants to watch live will feel me here. You have to watch on shitty streams a lot of the time. Yeah. So I'm on like a shitty stream.
Once you got like DirectV, I have DirecTV.
Sorry, yeah.
You know what's kind of?
I'm not a fancy pants over here.
It's way too much money. It's an idiot thing.
Let's
to
switch.
Do. I'm very dumb.
You want to switch?
No,
Is that a thing that we can do?
You have to pay for it.
It's not like a Netflix account.
Give me your password, Kevin.
There is a password for it.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, if you want to sign into your provider on some of the apps.
I had DirecTV for a brief period of time, and then I would watch on the internet that way sometimes. And then like when I wasn't home or someone was using the TV or whatever, and then after I left, I was still able to. After we like moved out of that house, the person who paid for it, I was still able to use it for a little while, and then her dad changed the password.
Ooh, my ex-girlfriend had my iTunes password for a while, and I found 2 movies like a week after we broke up that I didn't buy on my. I was pissed.
My
ex-girlfriend. Were they good at least?
One of them was
Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2?
No, one of them was Stepdads.
3? Oh wow!
With the one with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Was it Stepdad or something like that?
Yeah, Stepdad.
Stepdad.
Whatever movie that was, and
there's only one of them.
And
Stepdad.
And what was that one movie with the girls and the girl comedians, and they were like
Bridesmaids?
Bridesmaids,
okay.
Bridesmaids and Stepdad.
You didn't see Bridesmaids?
It's very funny.
I own it, so I did see it. And I did enjoy that. I was there, and I was like, this is a lady pooping in the street. This is enjoyable.
My ex-girlfriend owes me money, and sometimes I'll notice like her things are still linked
But
up
I'm
to some of my
pissed
things.
because
and
that's like
I always want to charge it to her because she owes me money, but I'm like, it's so.
Because I saw Step Brothers, and Step Brothers. No, Step Brothers is phenomenal. I saw that Stepfathers, whatever movie.
It's not called Stepdad, I don't think.
Whatever that movie is, it's garbage.
What?
I didn't like that movie.
I didn't see it.
Oh, I liked that movie.
And I didn't care that they casted Mel Gibson in the second one.
What's it called? Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home. That's it.
It had to have a better.
Didn't like it. Didn't like it, sir.
Didn't like
That's
it, sir.
right. I remember using that. I always sent that picture of the poster to people all the time when I was like arriving somewhere.
You didn't even see John Cena in the second one?
No.
It's pretty good.
I didn't even. It's
pretty good.
Until we brought up Daddy's Home, I forgot there was this. Which, if Mel Gibson didn't lose his mind that one night, it would probably be appealing to me.
Yeah, no, Erica wouldn't let us see it in theaters. We had to see it. We had to see it in a way where we didn't pay money for it.
She was just like, "Come on."
No, she was like, this is not a home that supports Mel Gibson. We can watch the movie if you really want to see it because John Cena's in it, but we're not paying money
I'm
for it.
just so upset that Mel. I don't know if I was more upset about the racism, which was deplorable, or the fact that I can't watch Lethal Weapon movies without thinking about it anymore.
Probably the racism.
And I loved
it should be the racism. I'm just going to let you know.
Yeah,
the answer is it's not a confusing question here.
Of course it is.
Okay, so Fox Sports won. That's where we're going to have WWE back.
No humor allowed in this room, I guess.
On Tuesday nights.
That's how it was funny, dude. We added to the fun.
Yeah, we made it funny for you at the end, you know?
It's a bit. We're all, hey.
Jamie's canceled tomorrow because he
No, it's not.
He thought it was a bigger deal.
No, because we did this around and now we're good, you know?
That's like no backsies.
Yeah,
exactly.
Then you can't get canceled if you do that. That's what more comedians should have thought of that. If the SNL guy just did a shimmy, he would be all right.
Hey, Lord, my beat. And everyone like, Shane, bring him back. Bring Shane back. Look what he did.
It is fucked up that he ruined the Lethal Weapons movies, though.
Hey.
I love those movies.
It is.
I mean, hey, try being a lifelong Michael Jackson fan, Jamie.
Yeah,
that's tough too. I mean, the
day I had to cancel Michael Jackson was a terrible day in my life.
The day that I found out I couldn't listen to Ignition anymore was upsetting.
Dude, what if something comes out about Vin Diesel? That's a lot of movies that I can't watch anymore.
Wow.
What if something comes out about Dick Wolf?
Dude, I actually thought about the other day. I legitimately thought about the other day because he was like, they showed like a little interview of him, and I was like, he's kind of creepy. Like he has like a creepy vibe, and I was like, what if some crazy shit come out about him? Like that,
my life would be ruined.
There would be no daytime television.
That's 21 years of SVU.
Just like what would happen to reruns as we know it, they would cease to exist.
They would cease to exist.
It would be Modern Family's on again.
Guess we got Saved by the Bell again to watch.
Also canceled in a way.
Wait, why?
Just because it's very problematic.
Oh yeah, it's
Mario,
true. It's
we got
very
Dustin Diamond, Mario Lopez saying trans people shouldn't be raised or
that's
whatever.
true.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. You're right.
No, now the reboot. Can't even watch the reboot.
Back to wrestling, which is a totally non-problematic business that never gets people canceled in. Okay, so Wednesday night.
I just love that in wrestling nobody's canceled because the bar is so much lower.
Oh my god.
So NXT is on Wednesday nights, obviously 8 p.m. All Elite Wrestling is also on at 8 p.m. Now here to me is okay. A lot of stuff here now obviously has been so much talked about in this regard in this day, but obviously. I know that there's the age of DVR. Like you don't have to choose anymore, but like choosing does matter right now.
And hey, I'm going to be honest. Yes, we have choices, but we also have lives, and we have things to do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you only have time for 2 hours a night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that some people don't have lives. I mean, I actually don't mind watching that much wrestling on Wednesdays because those shows I feel like are going to be dope. I'm cool with it. Although we do bitch about 3 hours of Raw, so now we're gonna have 4 hours of wrestling on Wednesday night, which is a little. I guess it is a lot. We'll see how it starts to feel. We won't bitch about it until we actually start feeling the burn from it a little.
I'm gonna tell you. I had a test run sort of last night with how Wednesdays are gonna be. A little spicy.
A little spicy?
A little spicy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was your test run?
I mean, just having that.
Hey. Walter's a stupid name. It's getting bloody out there.
Well,
that tweet made me laugh so hard because I was just like, what? Like what?
Okay, Chris.
That was the biggest thing that made me. I was like, he's been wrestling for decades with the name Chris. What's so much better about Chris? Is it because he has a last name that makes it so much better?
But I love it that there's no context.
Me too.
None.
And also,
nobody wrote to him saying, "How great is Walter?"
and I love that Walter didn't even write back. Walter's like in Germany, not on a field somewhere, not smiling, so in a dark room, not caring, with a serious look on his face, anyways. And he probably just looked at it like
having a nail sandwich.
Good. And he's like, good point from Chris Jericho, and then like put his phone back down, and then went back to mining, doing some kind of like field work or whatever. That did make me laugh though. And I've honestly, in general, I've loved seeing the back and forth between the two sides.
Absolutely,
I don't
it's been
care.
great, and the other one hasn't even debuted yet, and it's been getting good.
That's why I love it. Like I'm like, dude, we're already getting like the whole Kenny Omega promo this week when he was in character but clearly talking shit to Dominic Dijakovic. He threw me off with the now that everyone's been calling him.
To you, I can't pronounce that guy's name.
Well, now that everyone's been calling him, now that everyone called him Dijak again, I had trained myself to say Dijakovic. But then everyone's like,
Morrow called him like Dirty Double D.
Oh, Double D, and I was like, that shouldn't be a thing that anyone should call him.
He said something about
Eddie.
This person,
that was his name.
Yeah.
This person's like water because they're flowing or something like that, and I was like, that doesn't even make sense here.
Morrow?
He said that last night.
He also said, there's something that was very like that was so. It was like. It was about the movie Hustlers. It was like, it's gonna be on the spotlight like the movie Hustlers. I was like, where? Why? Why?
I have been that way on a few references that are like, what?
Just shoving shit in there.
That was so unnecessary.
Hey, if you got to do reference, if pulling them out of the hat every time is
like that one was
tricky.
Clearly,
there's only so many pop culture references you can have at your disposal.
But he could have just not said anything right there. Like all of them usually make sense. They're like, I get what he's like. It's a simile.
This match will stand up on its own, like the chair I'm sitting in. I have nothing else.
I was like, this you just shoe in J-Lo and this movie out of nowhere. Like there was even a connection whatsoever.
But the reason I brought up how it matters is because the one you're watching live does help that show. And I know that not everyone is factored in or whatever in the Nielsen ratings or whatever, but like whichever is like dominating the eyeballs means people are watching that. I know, I hate them. They're stupid.
Whoever started it, Johnny Nielsen, whatever.
Johnny Nielsen, you suck.
Yeah.
But they're slowly moving away from it. I feel.
My friend's boyfriend, he works for them, and he has to go to houses and be like, "Hey, would you like to do this?
Would you like to be a Nielsen family?
I would love to be a Nielsen family.
I would love to.
I could know that what I'm watching really does wield some power. I'd feel much happier.
That'd be a real.
You get money off of that, right?
America likes wrestling and reality shows.
They love The Bachelor
the rest of the
and
airwaves.
wrestling, and that's it.
Sorry, Dick Wolf. Sorry.
Yeah, if it was judging you, he'd be out of business.
If he got me though, they'd be like, "This Dick Wolf needs more shows." he's only currently got 5 on television.
The only thing that we need is more dick.
We had no. There's a lot of dick in that
A lot
household.
of dick. There's so much dick.
But obviously, if there's more eyes on it live and they're dominating because social matters too. I mean, those things are important in 2019. Both want to be dominating the social and having your eyes on their actual advertising, not pushing fast forward on the DVR. One of the things that I am kind of most excited for here, as we've kind of mentioned already, as being someone on the West Coast. It would appear from what I've seen. It's right here. I see it. AEW is going to air live on TNT out here. So not like WWE. It airs out here at 5. So we can watch AEW,
Sure.
have an hour break for dinner or whatever we want, and then go watch NXT. That's very appealing. As someone on the West Coast who has literally never gotten to watch wrestling live on television.
And for me, they'll be playing at the same time. Because of Directv.
Yeah, that does suck for you.
Yeah.
That is,
The Wednesday night wars are raging in Kevin's house.
Wait, but don't you have DVR? You do, right?
I do.
Okay.
The AEW and NXT are raging inside me.
What's one you think you'll watch first?
I mean, I'll probably go to AEW first.
I feel like somebody like you, this is tricky.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's tricky for me, too. I'm a big TV watcher as well, and in Kevin's whole Wednesday night dilemma, I did not realize that I also have a Wednesday night dilemma now.
I have 9 TV shows that I'm watching.
Not a dilemma, so to speak, but I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia and South Park and watch them religiously, and now those are on Wednesday nights, too.
I love Mindhunter, and this season has taken me like 8 months. Because
just watch it.
I'm almost finished. I have
too much wrestling, Kevin.
That's what I'm saying.
No, come on.
That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not. Just watch Mindhunter.
Jamie watched a lot. You know what? It's crazy the progression of wrestling that Jamie has gone through from
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
I'll watch the bad shit too.
Yeah, I remember.
I know.
You watched that deep cut karate wrestling thing, which I watched too, but on W Network this week, and I was like, wow, Jamie used to only strictly watch WWE like Raw and SmackDown and it was a big deal when you started watching Lucha Underground, I remember, and to see the progression of Jamie is deep in it now. I love it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I am a mark.
No, but not even that. Just I wouldn't say a mark, more so you are so so much more well versed in the world of wrestling than you even before, and you loved wrestling your whole life anyways. But to see how much deeper you've gotten into it because of the show and stuff is so cool.
It is. Well, 100% it's the show's.
I mean,
it's a cause of the show. 100%.
And I had it happen because of the website too, for sure.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's all because of Kevin, obviously.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Kevin would just be every day we'd be talking about I don't know what was the news back then, like Del Rio or something, and be like, can we talk about Keith Lee, you guys? Don't get me wrong, he's great. Keith Lee's great.
I remember those days very vividly, and it'd be like, do you guys know who this person is? And it'd be like, nope. And they'd be like, Kevin, yes. Okay.
Go back to infographic.
Back to infographic. Thursday, some people watch Uncharted Territory as the Beyond Wrestling show. It's not something I watch, but it's on.
It's on Fight.
No, it's on IWTV.
It's on Fight.
Okay.
Independent Wrestling TV. I think that's where it
I've
is.
seen it on Fight.
All right. Well, I'll take your word
And
for
he'll
it.
fight you about
but I
it.
am going to promote Independent Wrestling
Right.
TV because I definitely know it's on there and it's a good company. So
Okay.
go check
Well,
out
I
Independent
didn't know.
Wrestling
Okay,
TV.
in that case.
And then on Friday night, obviously we got SmackDown now. Friday night SmackDown on Fox, big leagues. Another thing I'm happy about because, like with AEW and like I was talking about with that, the Fox Sports app will be playing SmackDown live.
Oh, nice.
So while it might not be live on TV out here, I think it works with Apple TV, the Fox Sports app, so you can technically watch it through there
Oh, that's
on
awesome.
your TV and on Roku too. So you can technically watch it there. So technically, us West Coasters can also watch live if you don't have DirecTV. I'm very pumped about that. Next week, obviously, is the premiere, and we're getting Kofi versus Brock Lesnar. We're getting Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon in a ladder match,
And a plethora of guests.
and a plethora of guests because there's going to be a blue carpet ceremony beforehand. It's on Fox, the half hour leading up to the show.
How they figure out to put up blue carpet? That's wild. That's just creative.
That's
Yeah.
marketing.
That's marketing.
Fox knows what they're doing.
Crazy. Their colors are blue, and so is SmackDown's.
And I'm sorry, you know what? Like, maybe I'm a loser who doesn't like to go out
Absolutely.
because I hate going out.
Sure you are.
But I'm pumped to have it on Friday night again. I hated it being on Tuesday. I don't know why. I just always felt like having it right.
I liked it, dude.
I
Then
always-
you're done with it for the rest of
Yeah.
the
See,
week.
that's why I didn't like it. I felt like there was no time to let Raw percolate a little bit. Like we were already done talking about Raw instantly.
Well, if they had stuck with the whole keeping Raw separate and SmackDown separate, would you have thought the same thing?
Yeah, because I always felt like, because and maybe it's the news cycle. Maybe if I was like just a fan and not working on a wrestling news website, it'd be a little different. I don't know, but no, because even before I preferred when it was on Friday night, and I didn't own a website back then when it used to be on Friday nights. I always liked it on Friday nights more. I think that. Because I like the discussion of wrestling. I've always liked internet discussion of wrestling. And I felt like with this whole Monday, Tuesday thing, it was always like Raw was over and they were already on to SmackDown, on that. And we didn't even really get to discuss Raw that much because we were already moving on to SmackDown by the end. The 24 hours later, we're already on something else. So I like that it's spread out a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. You guys liked it better on Tuesday?
I get what you're saying here.
You guys also go out way more than
in terms
me.
of a workload, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in terms of your life, I feel like you guys go out more than me too.
Yeah,
So you
I
probably
mean-
don't like the Friday night aspect.
Yeah, Friday. The fact that it'll be on the West Coast feed will help. But,
Yeah.
because maybe this is also just me being older in life.
Wait, pause. Sorry, Kevin. I forgot to tell you. There is a change for DirecTV on SmackDown.
Oh.
SmackDown does not air live on the West Coast.
Oh, wow.
You will be getting SmackDown now at 8 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to double check that while you're talking. Continue. But
That's
I'm pretty
interesting.
sure, so you know that.
What was I saying?
You were saying being an older person now.
Oh yeah.
You're old.
Maybe I'm.
You're
But,
washed.
but when I'm sitting down to watch something, I don't have plans to go anywhere afterwards.
Right.
Personally, I'm not that kind of watcher. I used to be when I was a young child, but yeah, I don't. It's a mindset that I have to be in. And Friday night, even though I'm not somebody who goes out every Friday night like I used to, but.
Like last night, even just adding to things where I watched the first half hour of NXT, and then I had to go. I worked a show at the Glass House, so I had to I was like, all right, got to cut out of this for the night. And
I hate doing that. It's hard. It's hard
it
to
is hard.
stop.
But I was glad I was able to get a match, and then I was able to move on.
Yeah.
So I got that Keith Lee.
It's so hard.
Dominic Dijakovic.
It's such difference for me
Match.
because I have to cover it. So
Right.
I have to watch.
You can't
it
have
full.
that break because you're just like.
Well, I would be like,
Yeah.
what if something crazy happened?
Yeah.
My head would explode, thinking that
Yeah.
I was missing something. So it's hard for me to do that. I feel like if I didn't run a website, a wrestling site, I feel like I could split it up, and especially a 3-hour show. I used to honestly, when I had TiVo, back when it was a TiVo, actual TiVo, and I was at home or whatever, still living at home and stuff. I definitely didn't watch Raw live. I would DVR it so I could fast forward through all the commercials and shit I didn't like.
It's interesting because, knowing the fact that you're constantly worrying about, what's possibly happening. You go like when you go on vacation and you're away for like a few days. Like I'm always just like, I hope Ryan's relaxing and not just like, oh, I'm in Mexico and I can't
It's a
work
mix.
on a story.
When I was in Mexico, I did a really good job of not working. I was like,
yeah,
I was like
break time.
Yeah, I was mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
I needed that. But most of the time, I'm checked in all the time. I'm getting a little better at it.
Good.
Saturday night is Women of Wrestling and New Japan on Access
This is where
TV.
Access gets to shine, baby.
That's where Access gets to shine. Well, also they have Tuesday nights with Impact.
I know, but I'm saying, like,
but they're also going to be dominated by the
double
Fox Sports show. That now
Right.
they were all pumped like, yeah, we're sliding into that
slid
Tuesday
into
night
that
position.
Tuesday.
We're sliding in. It's wide open for us, baby. And then like it was like, oh no, we're still having a show here.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
my
got
bad.
a thing
We
here.
got a thing here. Sorry, my bad.
We run the show.
And that's not to mention there's also Ring of Honor. That's in syndication and different stuff, or in different markets. There's so much. Like you said, there's GCW stuff to watch. There's
And,
New Japan's actual, because the Access show is like old repurposed matches. You still have to watch like the live shows, the actual events afterwards. There's so
Over
much.
New Japan?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like it's not that far off from like it's like you're waiting like a week later.
Always?
Now it is.
Is it always like that though?
I think so.
I don't know. Sometimes they're
sure.
pretty far off, I think.
They have a lot of like reruns of older matches, but then they have the newer stuff too.
This honestly though is why
I think Saturday nights is reserved for the newer stuff.
Okay, fair enough. I think that Impact moving to Tuesday was smart.
Oh, absolutely, and to be on a network that more people have.
Yes. I don't know what I think about this thing where
see those military
AEW is
ones.
apparently already talking about a second show.
Who is these?
AEW?
Come on.
Like, you haven't even
Come
put
on.
out your first show yet.
There's a lot. I want them to do very well, and I think they will. I just think that there's a lot of getting ahead of yourself, a lot going on right now.
I think that's very fair to say.
I'm also worried about both SmackDown and AEW and the fact that AEW is on TNT. TNT has basketball.
Yeah.
There's going to be preemptive shows from basketball games, especially the playoffs.
I bet you those will go to TBS, though.
Okay.
I don't know how that works, but I bet you that's what it is.
Hopefully.
That's my guess.
Then with SmackDown, World Series is here. Like the MLB playoffs, that is going to be preempting SmackDown.
I'm assuming Fox Sports 1.
Fox Sports 1, so that makes sense.
That's my
but
guess. I don't know that,
I'd
but that's my
imagine
guess.
But at the same time, it's just like, there's already these programming issues going into
Oh,
things.
totally. It's going to be weird when that happens,
Yeah.
for sure. It's going to be interesting. Did you bring up Baseball World Series, right?
Yeah.
That is a perfect segue into my actual favorite story of the week, and that's
Hey.
the fact that Jose Canseco is going to be wrestling. What? Like, can we
It's
just,
not it's
just
not
for a minute
surprising.
before we get into like
It's not
actual what happened
that
on NXT this
surprising,
week?
but it's crazy.
Well, I mean, are you saying that because you think that he was
he
like
got a pretty ass daughter. He does. I think her name is Josie.
that's weird? I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
Not in the slightest bit.
Well, I think that, I mean, hey, who says you can't have your daughter also?
What can I? Where can I do steroids?
How do you
still
spell
and no one's gonna
How do you
care?
spell Canseco?
It's
CON.
wait. Actually, no. Let's see. But wait. Stop.
I have no clue.
You have no clue.
I know how Jose Canseco.
It's a Cansecco.
Really?
I already got
Okay.
it wrong. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
spelled CON.
Yeah, that's what I was looking on too.
Yeah. No.
I got
guys both would've
surprised
failed.
because Jose Canseco is a crazy person.
Yeah, she's fine as hell.
That's why. Share with the class. Let me
He
see.
did.
Let me
He
see.
definitely has an attractive daughter. How old is she? Are we going to cut this out?
Oh no, she's
Okay.
she's like 21, 22.
Like, don't.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
But this is the same
She does
promoter.
look very young though.
This is the same promoter who he is the one who was tricked everyone into thinking that Farrah Abraham was going to be getting into wrestling.
Ooh, okay.
Aren't you so upset that didn't happen?
Oh, I'm so happy it didn't happen.
You wanted it.
No, I wanted to see people angry about it. I enjoyed the
Outrage.
It makes me laugh when wrestling fans are like, "Celebrity, no!"
Yeah.
Clutching their pearls. Oh, why?
A guy from the band Wheatus wrestled in a fucking like Matt.
That's why it made me laugh the other day when.
Don't
when
worry,
Keith,
she's 22 years
Good.
old. I double checked.
Good. That's why it made me laugh the other day when everyone was so mad at Keith Olbermann for being like, "Are you serious?" Overseeing Braun Strowman during a baseball game, like being promoted. And everyone was like, he should apologize and all this stuff. And I was thinking,
you guys do the same fucking thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
At the same time, I'm like, both times I'm like, who cares?
Both times, I'm also like, who cares?
But it's like, you
but
guys
it made
do
me
the
laugh
same
that I was like,
fucking thing.
you imagine, I don't even have to imagine, I've seen it. Rewind a few months ago to WrestleMania when the guys from SNL were doing stuff with WWE to promote SNL, which is part of the same umbrella because they're on an NBC Universal platform. So they were, in essence, doing the exact same thing that Braun is doing on this MLB game. And this Keith Olbermann guy doesn't even say anything that mean. Just goes, "Are you serious, Fox?" Because he's a hardcore baseball fan, I would imagine. And everyone is like, "Yeah, he's the worst person. He's no respect for wrestling." And I was like, how come when you guys are like F Michael Che and Colin Jost for being on WrestleMania, there's no place for celebrities at WrestleMania, even though it was built on celebrity appearances. And everyone's so mad. And I was like, why is anyone getting mad at Keith Olbermann? You guys do the same thing way worse.
Yeah, they boo Susan G. Coleman people.
Exactly. They still complain about Snooki being at WrestleMania a few years ago, when once again it was the same thing. Like,
she did a good job.
Thank you, Kevin.
She did a good job.
Please let her know.
She did.
I'm sure it still eats at her.
I mean, she's got a shop now. She doesn't need it.
I don't even remember how we got. Oh, Jose Canseco. I was like, how do we even get there? I got so fired up over that. Keith
By the way,
Olbermann
I've known Ryan for a very long time, and this is exactly how he is about anything that he gets mad about.
Yeah, I was fired up by that Keith Olbermann thing, and I was just holding my tongue on Twitter because I was like,
a lot of this going on.
I was so fired up that when I was reading those tweets, I was just like, what is it? What the fuck?
And then he'll fall back a lot like this.
By like Kramer?
Kind of.
Flying into a room.
Sometimes. Yeah. It's Kramer, Seinfeld, huh?
I got it.
All right, let's move on to NXT this week. NXT this week started off with Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic. I know they couldn't have ended the show with this. Or sorry, I know they wanted to have this on the show because Dijakovic did defend WWE and NXT, so you can't put it on the network only version of. I'm sorry, I'm just saying they should have put this on the network only version of the show and had this main event the show, because I did think it was a little. I felt bad for Dominic Dijakovic that he's like the one guy who stood up for NXT, and then he says we're not openers, and then they had him open the show and lose. And I was like, oh, that sucks. They could at least have put him like in the main event of the show since he like stood up and they were gonna have this banger of a match.
I guess that didn't cross my mind.
Okay, well, maybe I'm just looking too deep into it.
It didn't cross my mind either.
Okay,
because I was like, wow, they're opening this match as being like, look what the fuck we got.
Okay, all right.
That's what I took it.
Okay, that's a better. You know what? That's a better way of looking at it. I'm glad I spoke this with you guys. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad I talked this out with you guys.
Here's new eyes possibly on the show, and they're starting off with these two giant dudes that are going to wreck each other.
And boy, did they!
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, the match was amazing.
You bet your sweet bippy.
I do wish there was a moment.
Somebody tweeted that old video today, and I forgot who did. There was an old wrestling video, like an old wrestling interview. They're like, "Did you lose? Did you get your head shaved?" You bet your sweet bippy I did.
I do wish that there wasn't that one fumble with where Keith Lee was going to deadlift suplex Dominic, and then he kind of fell over.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a.
I kind of wish that just for the
malfunction
fact
at the junction, as Mora likes to say.
But you know what? I wish that commentary would have covered it more. I think that's where it kind of had an issue, because commentary was like, roll up, yeah. But I think that they covered it in the ring pretty well.
It didn't look. They 100% did.
Oh, dude, I love the match. I mean, when he tossed Dominic just over the ring, or the ring ropes, just chucked him out of the ring, and then when he did the moonsault Keith Lee, I was like, oh my god.
Both. By the way, both their moonsaults are fantastic.
It's insane.
And
Keith almost fell for a second, and I was like so scared, but yeah, he pulled up, and it was amazing.
I love when you're like a big guy and they do a replay for a leapfrog. They did like they're like, look at it, he jumped over that guy.
Also, I feel like we're also leaving out when he did that
corkscrew
thing
over the
press
top
to the
rope,
outside.
which is imagine seeing
and
that
Morrow
coming at you.
screamed so like,
Imagine seeing that coming at you though.
terrifying.
It's, okay, I got to catch this guy, and this is gonna hurt a lot.
Terrifying. Yeah, that looks so scary. Did you see some of the subtweets from some of the roster during the match?
No.
There was it was who were the two? One of them was Buddy Murphy, and it was something.
Oh
like,
yes, I did see that.
Of course.
When I didn't realize like destroyers or are just being used like hip tosses now or something like that.
I don't know. That was a pretty devastating Canadian destroyer.
But then it didn't end the match, so it was like
I didn't know Canadian destroyers were finishers.
I mean, they
Look
a
at it.
flipping pile driver between
at it.
a guy who's that size.
It was an impressive Canadian destroyer. The fact that they did it from that high.
And then I saw Scott Dawson tweeted like something like wrestling. It's clear like the wrestling business has passed me by or something along those
Guys,
lines.
this is your team.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Guys.
It seems like that. Like
Jamie did the full pen drop there, like, guys.
I mean,
like, why are you like, shitting on your own brand?
I just that's what was frustrating. Is like these are. I get it. I go to PWG and I've seen 15 Canadian destroyers in a match sometimes, and it's like on the curtain. I mean, on the apron, or like things like that, where it's like nowhere near a guy kicks out at half
Half a second.
It doesn't bother you at all, though?
It does.
Yeah.
But
because there are times at PWG once in a while, or even when I'm watching New Japan, to be completely honest with you, when I'll see something and I'll be like, that didn't end this match.
Finishers used to be a suplex, a body slam,
running power slam.
These are like
or I'm also just like
an
I
atomic
saw,
drop.
Like I saw
Nobody had
we'll get to the main event, but like I saw, I think it was Brian Alvarez was saying something like, I think it was Meltzer. It was Meltzer who was saying like that, like so far, like Kushida, like he was saying something about how like Kushida is just like it was a bad decision at this point. At this point, it was a bad decision
to sign Kushida.
For Kushida to have left New Japan to go.
Why?
And I was like, maybe Kushida just doesn't want to be kicked in the fucking head as hard as possible for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Maybe that this is what he wanted to do.
Why is it bad?
It was basically
Because he teamed with Fandango.
Yes, that it was like that. He was like it was. So far, it doesn't look like Kushida made the right call to join NXT.
And he's being featured in a prominent feud
on prominent feud on live TV.
And also, let's throw in the fact that he's being billed as a legit threat against 4 big Germans
And
by himself.
And furthermore, Triple H was like, "Oh, your character's a Back to the Future fan. I'm cool with it." What? Like
that was the biggest surprise.
Me too. That's been my totally
shocks me beyond belief. Like
shocked my system.
By the way, am I the only one that thought they should have panned up to Undisputed Era more?
Way more.
They didn't. Like they got him in the beginning, and then that's it. Like
there was almost like no reason for them to be
there. They should have had bottle service.
Yeah.
They should have been like kicking and drinking and
and
talking
like
shit.
making fun of the people who were in the ring
like
and stuff.
like a one night stand.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I actually thought the exact same.
I was like, why are they even there?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad you brought that up. Dakota Kai, then she came back next. She wrestled Tainara Conti. Yeah, you did not like that name. Is that a new finisher for her?
I don't know.
I didn't recall that name either, but I wasn't positive.
I mean, she was doing a Shining Wizard before.
And no, she was doing the chiropractor thing where it was like
Which I love that name.
I loved that name and that finisher.
It's 100 times better than the go to kick.
The go to kick didn't. Yeah, the go to kick didn't make a lot of sense.
Hey, where you go? You're going to my foot right now. That's where you're going.
I mean,
the go to sleep made sense.
Yeah, it did because you got knocked out. You passed.
You could theoretically apply that to any move, though.
I mean, the go to kick does make sense. It made sense. It made more sense than the bro to sleep when Matt Riddle would do that and call it the bro to sleep. That doesn't make any sense.
That rhymes at least.
It rhymes. The bro to sleep is better than the go to kick.
Yes.
I need a third opinion.
What if
here.
it's like the go-to kick? Like she's like.
That's what I'm saying. It's the go-to kick.
It's her kick.
Like it's her go-to.
Exactly.
That's not how I see it.
Well, that's how I'm fucking taking it. Okay,
But with that
Jimmy?
reasoning, does that make you think the bro to sleep is not as cool?
Well, they should refer to it as no. I still think the bro to sleep is good.
Better?
Than the yes.
Even
than
if it
go
is
to
the
kick.
way the way Kevin
Because
just
it's
right now?
literally like, okay,
It's her
well,
go-to kick.
she's not kneeing him, so we got to call it something else. So, it's a foot, so let's call it a kick.
Dude, I mean, what's why can't I think of her name from Impact that retired?
Gail Kim.
Gail Kim. Gail Kim's finisher was the eat the feet.
Good point.
She put her foot to your face, to your mouth, and fell back because you're eating her feet.
Oh, Woods used
feet.
Woods used to do that move.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one called it eat the feet before.
Nobody has still nobody could touch Mr. Fuji's finisher. That's still the best one.
Yeah. It's a good finisher.
It goes like Ralph Wiggum.
So yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Okay, so then we had her match. She wins. She was very emotional in her return. I was pumped about
Yeah,
it.
good for her.
Yeah, she was definitely missed on the show, in my opinion.
I don't know why it is, but I maybe am just like subscribing to this whole thought they look like war horses after that. Whenever somebody comes back with a knee brace, it's like I'm not wishing knee braces upon anybody, but it just to me that adds a little bit of like I've been through some shit.
Yeah. You're not gonna take no shit from
like
no
when
one.
Austin had one knee brace and then he had two. I was like, oh my god.
No, that's like Tegan Knox when I saw her in NXT UK. It was definitely like a whole like. It also doesn't seem fair.
Like when Cesaro, the way Cesaro looks like he's being held together by like fishing wire. Like he's got like things on here. He's got knee braces. He's got a mouth guard. He's got.
Did you guys watch his hype video this week for his return?
Cesaro?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
like, he's back.
I was thinking Ciampa. Sorry. I was thinking
I did
Ciampa.
it, but I forgot about it because I wanted to watch it.
It's really. You watched it?
Yeah.
It was awesome, right?
Yeah, I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, it got me hyped.
I'm
He's
like,
got
ooh.
2 knee braces. He's got arm braces.
I mean, it was definitely like clear he's going to be a face now, for sure. Like he was talking about like having to overcome the odds and how he was going to end his career.
That's the thing is like I hope that he's going to be a face based off of that because if he comes back as a heel, I'm like that was too baby face.
Well, also at the same time, we're like, okay, we've made him come back twice as a heel, and he just ends up getting cheered.
That's why I think they're going this route too. And they did those like behind the scenes videos on YouTube to like show him as a normal person.
If you want to build up somebody as like a bad guy, you don't do that.
No, you definitely don't. But
you don't humanize the person.
Definitely not. But
we're looking at you, Jimmy Fallon.
You know they're having him come back next week on the October 2nd show. Like, come on, of course he is. I mean, come on. Like
no one will survive.
I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be so bummed if that doesn't happen. I'll get to it right here. Matt Riddle. The next match was Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane. Matt Riddle wins to earn an NXT title shot next week in the first episode, the full 2-hour episode, which is going to be going head to head
with limited commercial breaks.
Yeah, did you know that?
I did know that because they mentioned it about 100 times.
By the way, it was literally the last word they said before the show. I think it was like Moro sign-off. I think it was Moro sign-off. I swear to God.
It wouldn't surprise me. So that's the first one that's going head to head with AEW. So from what we know,
of course, because AEW hasn't had a show yet.
What do you mean?
You said it's the first to go head to head with AEW.
Yeah, because they're both. It's the first head to head between the two.
Ryan,
It's the first actual battle of the Wednesday Night War, Kevin. But in that show, we're gonna get Street Profits versus Undisputed Era for the tag titles. Candice versus Shayna for the women's title, and now Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle for the NXT
title.
You
a fancy boy who's going to be there.
Ooh-wee. And then on the other side of things, on the AEW side of things, we've got Cody versus Sammy Guevara, Riho versus Nyla Rose to crown the first AEW Women's World Champion, MJF versus Brandon Cutler, Pac versus Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and 2 mystery partners.
So far, there's 3 out of the 5 matches are sounding pretty exciting.
On
which side?
Paper, at least.
Which side?
On the AEW.
I was gonna say
by comparison.
I mean, all 3 on the NXT side sound hype.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. On the other side, you're saying Kenny Omega, the Elite versus Chris Jericho match.
Right.
MJF versus Pac versus
Moxley's
Hangman.
not built for this one?
And
Nyla Rose versus Rhea.
Moxley's not built for this one?
He's billed as making an appearance. I don't think he's wrestling in an actual match for this one.
We'll finally hear from Moxley is what they said.
I think. Is it weird that I think Matt Riddle might win the title?
No.
Do you
Not at
guys
all.
think it's possible?
Yeah.
Well, they don't keep. Whenever they do this whole like the stable has all the belts. I've noticed that while they do it, they don't make it last for a while.
Agreed.
It usually starts to splinter pretty quickly.
Agreed.
And
What better way to start, a jealous thing would
Well,
be
it also-
Adam Cole. baby.
very much so. But I also wonder just. I'm genuinely curious what the future holds for Adam Cole because right now, what is Adam Cole? The leader of the Undisputed Era. Great talent, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but what else is he? In terms of his character. And I think that if Riddle were to beat him, because right now, I mean, Adam Cole is defined by that title and the stable that he's in, bar none. Do we agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
And in order to take one of those things away, then potentially the other thing, they have to throw something. They have to throw in some sort of new fancy hat. Not, obviously not just a hat. We have a fancy hat already on the goddamn roster.
Cool. We got an idea for you. We're gonna have you start wearing a top hat to the ring.
We're going to have you in a match against Grimes.
Did you watch the Emmys? Did you see that guy with the crazy black hat that won the award? You're gonna start wearing that.
That hat.
I completely agree with you. I think also while I know that I've recently kind of become more of a bigger fan of Adam Cole, I have said for a long time that if I were running a company and I wanted my company promotion to be as big as possible, I would put the belt on Matt Riddle and I would have my whole promotion. I would have him be the face of the promotion because he's an attractive dude with a body that anyone would wish they would have. That they wish they had that kind of body. That they want to hang out with him because he's like the coolest dude. He's this long blonde haired like surfer guy.
He's like if the dude was in shape.
Yeah, and if the dude could kick the shit out of people, So I've said it for a long time, and if I think that Matt Riddle is someone who draws in a lot of eyes, in my opinion. If they put Matt Riddle in the right scenarios, Matt Riddle brings in a lot of viewers. If done right, I think he could be one of the top guys in WWE as a whole. So I hope that they're going to put the belt on Matt Riddle here. But they probably won't. It's probably going to be Adam Cole, and then he'll face someone like even bigger at a TakeOver or something like that.
Thanos.
Do you think Shayna...
A child.
A child.
Who do you think wins between Shayna and Candice?
Shayna.
Shayna?
Yeah, she's not going to lose at a even as big as monumental of a TV taping it is. I think they're going to save her dethroning for a takeover.
I think so too. You'd think this long, you'd wait till like a WrestleMania or something like that.
Yeah, because they're obviously building this up for some crescendo of some sort.
Unless she's due for a call up in the draft. And she's that they want to have a new touch on the women's division.
But that's the thing though. I mean, now that they have NXT, I mean, I guess someone like Rhea Ripley can really fit that role. But they need. I mean, she's a very important role in NXT.
I agree with you, but
she's as close to a female Brock Lesnar as that company's going to get.
Which is why she might be more valuable on the main roster.
Sure, I get what you're saying, but what are the talks of Ronda coming back?
Not that I've heard.
I just shrugged my shoulders for those of you listening.
I just I don't know. Like it seems odd.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about Shayna again, because everybody was like, "Oh, when Ronda comes, she's going to be the female Brock Lesnar," in the sense that she's an MMA person. Attitude very different.
Yeah,
Shayna's got a little more of that attitude, despite the fact that Ronda found a little more success.
Yeah, but Ronda was already kind of skewing towards heel. If there's a chance, and I don't know this, and people are like, Ryan, she's trying to get pregnant. I'm not saying, I don't know, but let's say there's a chance that she's not getting pregnant now, and that she maybe is going to come back, right? At some point in time in the next, 6 months, right? Wouldn't the smart thing be bringing Shayna up a few months before and the Four Horsewomen before the
But
other
here's
Four
my
Horsewomen,
question about
and building them on the main roster for a few months, and then when Ronda comes in as the big surprise to like help them against the other Four Horsewomen, you've got your money thing.
Well, here's my
Right.
question about that whole Four Horsewomen thing. I know Vince sees the relevance in the Four Horsewomen that consist of Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, so on and so forth.
Four Horsewomen of WWE.
Yes. I don't think he gives a shit about this other horse. These horse. I don't even know if he knows they exist.
I mean, he knows they exist.
But I'm talking about as people, not like I don't think he knows about that like 4 horsewomen of MMA thing.
I think he does. That was a big part of like when she was kind of coming up, Ronda. I
don't think he knew about that.
I know for a fact that she told WWE way back when they first wanted her, a year before they even got a chance. It was like, if you want me, you got to sign my friends.
Sure. That's fine, but I'm also saying that I don't think Vince sees the same sort of like relevancy in terms of those horsewomen. Because remember, this is a guy who wasn't sure, wasn't even aware there was other television other than wrestling, as opposed to like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but they've been on. I mean, they've been in the system for a while now.
Sure, in the system, but at the same time, like I've said, like a lot of these cases, especially when they get called up from NXT, we've seen that it's sometimes the first time Vince has seen these people. You know, like in that sense where I got to focus on these people.
But I mean, I would like to think that if Heyman isn't the executive director of the show, Heyman has been the one trying to get the 4 horsewomen on TV for so long.
I'm not saying they wouldn't, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I truly don't know if we'll ever get that for. I mean, we could theoretically.
I think we'll get it.
I just don't see. I just, from my opinion, I just don't see.
They've invested way too much to not do it. They've invested so much in it now.
So much. I mean, for the 4 horsewomen.
No. They've invested. They've been paying these other 3 for so long now.
Sure, no, as valuable talent, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but they've invested in getting to that. They've even done videos on the feud between the 4 of them, the 8 of them. It's gonna happen. It's gonna that one's gonna happen.
I think you guys should slap fight.
I'll slap you.
Don't do that.
So I don't know what's good. If Riddle's gonna win, Shayna's not gonna lose.
Right.
But I mean I'm interested to see what happens with that. I also think Undisputed Era keeps the tag team titles against Street Profits. And then Street Profits get officially drafted somewhere.
If Shayna does end up winning, which by all accounts she probably will, I genuinely think they got to give something more for Candice if they're gonna feature her more. Because she's lost so much that this is a make or break match for her. Not in the sense that she has to win, but that she has to have something happen.
Well, she won the 4-way, but I agree with you. She needs it. She needs something. She needs the stuff behind her for sure.
Tag team with her and Dakota Kai kicking Candy.
Not bad.
I like it.
2 very nice ladies.
I also realized I skipped the most important story of the week.
PMS.
I also realized I skipped the most important story of the week, and we're running low on time because I was doing that schedule thing, and then I forgot. I skipped because I went to Jose Canseco because it made me laugh. So I don't think there's a lot to say about Rhea Ripley versus Caden Carter.
Caden Carter is dope, though.
She is dope, and it was an impressive match. I like her new name too.
Yeah.
Oni and Danny Burch versus Everrise. Hate the tag team name Everrise, but it was still a good match. Right?
Yeah.
Cameron Grimes.
Oni's like rise up like Godzilla out of the water.
That was the best.
I was crying.
That was one of the funniest things I've seen in a while.
Oni.
Because I was like, forgot he was over there. I think the camera guy forgot he was over there.
That was the best part of that match for sure. Cameron Grimes versus Raul Mendoza. Jamie, you want a second to say how you feel about this Cameron Grimes situation?
I don't get it. Someone just tell me what it is. I don't hate him because
we tried last night.
What is he?
We said it was crocodile.
What about
crocodile slash?
Crocodile? How?
Nothing.
He's like a swamp man. Swamp slash.
How?
He's got a hat and a crocodile.
You're in the swampland, baby.
Dick Dastardly had a top hat and he wasn't from the South.
I real quick on Raul Mendoza. I think he's incredible, and I think he'd be a great person to bring up to become a stable with Andrade.
We don't have time. We're on crocodile slash right now.
I just don't understand. If someone could tell me what his character is, I'd be more inclined. It's just like. I get that hat thing again because there's that Simpsons where Malibu Stacy is the same figure, but she's got a new hat and it sells out. And I'm like, okay, this guy has a hat and he wears nothing but the hat and trunks. What?
He didn't even have the vest this time. I don't
know.
He didn't even have the vest this time?
No, it was just the hat, I think.
I thought he had the vest.
And did you notice that when he put his hat on the turnbuckle at the beginning of the match, the camera was like,
yeah, it's like, okay, this is important.
But you know what?
Why is the hat important?
I think
maybe it's just like his urn.
I feel like
Just like a rabbit in
If
there.
Jamie is this angry about the hat, that he is not the only one who is this angry about the hat.
Of course.
And because of that,
That's why they're focused on the hat.
that is why the hat is good. He's a heel. And you are so mad about his stupid hat.
It's the most
that
meta
He
heel
hasn't even
ever.
had to say anything. He just had to wear a stupid top hat to the ring, and people hate him for it.
People hate hat means equals hat equals good.
Exactly.
I'm not knocking him because I love him. He looks like Ray Rosas with a top hat.
Fair.
It's like okay, what? But what? Why? Why are you wearing the hat? Do you not like the way your hair looks? Do you like it? I don't
You're
know.
a fan of Abe Lincoln. Okay, and then the main event was Imperium versus Kushida and Breezango.
Speaking of PP Ray, I like the way the presentation of Breezango now.
I love
They're
that.
like, I like the new song. I like the way they're just very like hump dancing a little bit.
Because by the way, Breezango may be our too cool. I mean, not ours. I'm sorry. This generation's too cool. Because
Yes.
our too cool was our too cool.
We had too cool,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm saying this generation could be, and I'm not comparing their in like Sky Too Hot. He's in ring work to Tyler Breeze. I'm not.
Yeah.
Not
in
at all.
terms of fun act that you'll
Like
always
you
remember.
know, like when The Rock was like, "Oh, I need 2 partners," and then you hear the,
Oh, yeah.
that was the shit.
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, that's gonna be fun."
I don't like their music as much because
I noticed that they changed it.
I liked it a lot.
I don't like the overuse. I don't like the. There's only one person that can have that police siren, and it's Scott Steiner.
Yeah, I thought it was Scott Steiner.
And Ciampa even uses the siren. So I was
thought
like,
it was Scott. Legitimately, I was like, are they doing like some random one-off where Scott Steiner's here? And also, when is Scott Steiner allowed in the building? I like.
I had the same thought, and then I went, no, it's not Scott Steiner. Is it the Motor City Machine Guns? That was like the thought I had because I was like, oh my god, Alex Shelley had that thing recently where he ran in for Evolve. Chris Sabin was at the Performance Center. Oh my god, what if this is the Motor City Machine Guns? What if they took them? What if
I
they
want to hold my hand in the air and point at it.
I was pumped because I know that I thought maybe like AEW because AEW was talking, or the Young Bucks were saying they would love to. They want the Motor City Machine Guns if they're available. It seems. I was like, oh, if NXT got the machine guns, that'd be wild. But then it was just Breezango, which is, I say just like it's a bad thing. It was still a very fun
I like
match.
the music. It kind of reminded me of Janela's indie music.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of. And I love it. Has that vibe to it. It's not like
The Kavinsky song?
It's kind of like Kavinsky, but like, I mean, it's nowhere. It's not Kavinsky's song, but it's.
I know it's not the Kavinsky
I know it
song.
sounds. It has that vibe. I'm just saying.
Okay, so
It has the essence.
the
of
biggest thing of the week
Kavinsky song.
before I get bumped out of here because we are getting late. I don't know why I skipped this. I set it up and then we.
It's just you can't see it.
I know it's on. I know. I saw it. I skipped it. We started talking about that schedule, and then there's just, like you said, it's such a daunting.
Go,
battle.
man! You're
Go,
trying
Ryan.
it out.
It's the new announcers. That's going to
thank
be on
you.
that's going to be on Raw and SmackDown.
Great Lawler, shit. Not happy about it.
So Raw is going to be slightly good news. So Raw
Vic
is,
Joseph,
it's
great.
going to be Vic Joseph and Dio Madden. Dio Madden is an NXT wrestler.
He's been doing some 205 stuff.
Just recently, and when he did the 205 Live thing, I was told it was a test run because he had already been bookmarked for this position to be on Raw. From what I've heard, Heyman wanted people who don't already have an association to the show. You know, like
It's very fresh.
People that you don't see and think Raw, which I know Jerry Lawler doesn't necessarily fall into that. But from what I am told, the Jerry Lawler thing is only a temporary thing, that it's not going to be a permanent thing, that he's not joining the Raw team permanently. At least that's what I heard from a good few sources. I've heard they're already eyeing other people. And similarly to Dio Madden, because I had heard that this Dio Madden thing a few weeks ago, but I hadn't able to fully lock it down story-wise, and then it already kind of gotten out. But I had heard that's, like I said, that's why he did the thing on 205 Live. Similarly, I noticed this week Mickie James was on commentary for Main Event. I don't know if that's why, but I putting 2 and 2 together because I do know they are trying they have other people in mind, and that from what I heard, they got Jerry on a temporary basis until they figure out who the third person is going to be. What do you guys think about just the complete overall here? I mean, getting rid of Michael Cole. Michael Cole has been on Raw since 2008.
Is he not on the any?
He's on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's what
he's
I
gonna be on
thought,
SmackDown with Graves, where he was the play-by-play man for 10 years before he moved to Raw. But I mean, Michael Cole has been the voice of WWE for the past 10 years now.
Very
Yeah,
much
but,
so.
but you want to put him on the
new A show.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
I mean, yes, it does make sense. And I also thought that I like the decision on SmackDown that it's going to be a two-person booth now. That Renee, she's going to be doing WWE backstage now with Fox Sports 1. I'm told that she was absolutely thrilled by the decision that her passion is hosting.
You talking shit now, Cole? Great way to go out.
And that her passion is hosting. And
She did say that.
Absolutely.
I thought I heard that.
Absolutely said it.
I was like, wait, wait,
Was
Renee?
she cussed?
I rewound it like 5 times.
I was like, wait.
I was like, Ryan's not gonna fucking tell me that I didn't hear the right thing like he did last time.
No, I saw a lot of people talking that you did hear it wrong last time,
No,
but this time you did.
No,
I was like, what?
Shove it down your dick.
I just like,
whatever he said.
but you know what? You know what combo? Speaking of Renee, I'm hyped for Booker and Renee being together.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for that.
Yes.
Because they work great together.
Yes.
And I'm also hyped for professional, not to say they were professional before, but like high-end studio graphics for Booker, like when he does his shuck it, duck it, quack, quack of the week or whatever the fuck. Like, I'm looking forward to that.
Totally.
It's gonna rain those little mini ducks.
Yeah.
Whenever he does it, probably.
Yeah, no, I'm also excited about it. I also, I do think I think it's interesting to throw Dio Madden just like out there like that.
Very random.
But maybe
obviously
obviously he's better than he's
Obviously, impress people.
yeah, exactly. That's the word I was
Because
looking for.
there's no way they would be like, you're in. Like if they didn't trust him at that point.
Yep. Are you guys happy? Excuse me. Are you guys happy that there's going to be a 2-man booth again?
I mean, it's a lot when it's 3 people. There's sometimes it just feels like there's no need. As much as I really enjoyed Renee's contributions to the booth, Graves has been doing an incredible job since he's gotten the opportunity, and Cole's he's a pro. Mm-hmm. He's the voice of WWE.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good fit.
Yeah, and she's still going to be a special contributor on the show for SmackDown. They haven't really explained what that means.
Where's Todd going?
That's the other thing. Tom Phillips.
Tom
Phillips and Byron Saxton left out in the cold at this point. What do you guys think about that?
Buddy cop movie for WWE movies. That's what I want.
What should they reboot with those two?
Just
Velocity.
Their own thing.
I was thinking that movie with where they kidnap the basketball player.
What's that?
Oh, what movie is that? With one of the Wayans brothers.
Mike with Shad Moss.
Lost Boys? That's with a football player.
No.
Bow Wow was in Like Mike, right?
That's why I pulled it up. Yeah, Like Mike. That is Bow Wow.
Shad Moss.
What's the name of that movie? Someone is listening to this and thinking.
Someone's listening to this?
Yeah, no one's listening anymore.
Jay, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at JAMIE_IOVINE or on Instagram at JAMIEIOVINE. Follow me and my upper class on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You can catch us every Saturday and Sunday if you have the Fight app because it goes on demand afterwards. And check out Network every day for drops, raffles, and giveaways and all sorts of fun
I was
stuff.
going to say, we need to add that to the damn infographic.
Yeah.
What infographic?
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
What infographic?
Oh, yeah, to the to your weekly schedule watching.
Yeah, you're right. Good point.
Damn
You
it.
got to add it, Jamie. Throw it in there. What day is it? No, it's syndicated, so it changes.
More damn wrestling?
So just search for it.
More wrestling, Jamie?
It's DVR it. The movie is called Celtic Pride. No one? You guys
I've heard
Daniel
that name.
Stern and Dan Aykroyd?
Oh, is that when they kidnapped that?
As I said, they kidnapped a basketball player.
I remember seeing it on TV a lot, but I never actually
Is Michael
sat down.
Rappaport anywhere in there? Because if he's not, that's a shame because he's Boston boy.
No.
Anyways.
96.
Where are they find
9% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I mean,
damn, I liked that movie growing up.
dude, Bad Boys 2 has like a 23% Rotten Tomatoes, and that's bullshit.
I hate Rotten Tomatoes.
It's stupid. Anyways,
Kevin, where can we find you?
You guys can find me at Kevin Gritzred on Instagram and Twitter, and nowhere on Rotten Tomatoes. Ryan, where can people find you, man?
ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website where you can find all the top stories in the world of professional wrestling throughout the week at Wrestling Sheet on social media. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find all the videos. Raw and SmackDown recaps. That's where I'll put up my interview with Brandy and Cody Rhodes as well. That should be going up at some point tomorrow. Make sure you guys check it out there as well. Subscribe, like the videos, comment. I appreciate it very much. But if you just want to listen to all the audio of these things instead, make sure you subscribe to our podcast feed. Search on all the major podcast platforms for Wrestling Sheet Radio. Okay, that's it. We're done. Officially tapping out for now. Until next time, stay out of the dirt and keep your eye on the sheet.